Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep into a device that really brings a classic form factor screening into the future. The Motorola Razr 60 Ultra.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one.
We've got a whole stack of sources here, detailed specs, review snippets, insights, straight from, the official product page.
All the good stuff.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive, to pull out the most important nuggets about this flip phone, understand what makes it tick, and figure out what really stands out for you.
And what's interesting is exactly that blend you mentioned. They haven't just brought back a look.
Right.
They've genuinely tried to make the flip phone relevant again, packing it with, well, modern flagship tech. It's about making the choice to use a flip phone something that doesn't feel like a compromise.
Absolutely. And the first thing that grabs you is obviously the design. It flips. So let's kick things off there. What are the actual dimensions, open and closed?
Okay, so when it's unfolded, it's pretty much a full-size smartphone experience. We're talking roughly 171.5 by 74 millimeters, and it's impressively thin, like 7.2 millimeters.
Right.
But the real magic, of course, is when you fold it. It becomes this compact little square, around 88 millimeter by 74 millimeter. It does get thicker then, about 15.7 millimeter.
Right, that makes sense.
The sources give slightly different precise numbers, but yeah, that's the gist. Full phone open, pocketable square closed.
Which is tiny compared to most slab phones these days. And what's the weight like for that size?
It's right 199 grams, which is 7.02 ounces. Pretty typical for a modern phone, maybe even a bit lighter than some of the big flagships.
Yeah.
Which is impressive for a foldable, with 2 screens and that whole hinge mechanism.
Not too heavy at all then. And the materials, it sounds like they've used quite a mix.
Oh, definitely. You've got a plastic front when it's unfolded, has to be for the flexible screen, right?
Right.
But the external display, that's protected by tough Gorilla Glass ceramic. The frame is 6000 series aluminum, and the hinge, the really crucial bit, is stainless steel. And then for the back, lots of options. Silicone polymer for an eco-leather feel, Alcantara, even finishes that mimic wood or satin, plus more standard leather-inspired textures.
Interesting. Sounds like they're really focusing on that premium feel and personalization. How about durability? Especially against, dust and water.
It's got an IP48 rating. Now, that's not the IP68 you might see on some non-folding phones.
Which means full waterproofing, basically.
Sort of, yeah. IP68 is better against dust and full submersion. IP48 means it's resistant to dust particles larger than 1 millimeter, which is key for a hinge, and it can handle immersion in up to 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes.
So splashes, rain, maybe dropping it in the sink.
Exactly. Just, probably don't take it swimming. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that dust resistance is important for the mechanism.
Good point. And SIM options.
Pretty flexible there. You can use a standard nano SIM plus an eSIM, or depending on the region, you can actually use 2 physical nano SIM.
Okay, good to have options. And it comes in some pretty distinct colors, too, I saw. Something about Pantone.
Yeah, they're really leaning into color, using Pantone-validated options. Things like Rio Red, Scarab, Mountain Trail, Cabaret. Fits that sort of fashion-forward vibe the Razr often goes for.
Definitely. Okay, so that's the outside, the physical shell, which is a huge part of the appeal. But inside, or maybe outside and inside, it's all about the displays. 2 significant screens here.
Exactly. The main one, when you flip it open, that's a large 7.0-inch foldable LTPO AMOLED display.
LTPO. Remind me what that tech brings to the table again.
LTPO is really key for battery life. It lets the screen's refresh rate change dynamically, so it can drop way down, maybe even to 1 hertz for a static image, saving power.
Ah, okay.
And then it can ramp up incredibly fast when you need it, like for scrolling or gaming.
And how high can this one ramp up?
Up to a really impressive 165 hertz. That is incredibly fast for any phone, let alone a foldable.
Wow.
Should make everything look super, super smooth. The sources also mention it's a 10-bit color panel, covers 120% of the DCI-P3 color gamut, basically over 1 billion very accurate colors.
And it supports Dolby Vision and HDR10+, too, right, for video?
Right, yeah. And the peak brightness is listed at a massive 4,500 nits, which should mean it's easily visible even in bright sunlight.
Though that's usually just for small parts of the screen showing HDR, isn't it?
Typically, yes. But still, very bright. The resolution is 1224 by 2912 pixels, they call it. Super HD works out to a sharp 464 pixels per inch.
And the touch response. How quickly does it register your touch?
It's 130 hertz for normal use, but it actually jumps up to 300 hertz in game mode. So very responsive for gaming.
Okay, now let's talk about that other screen, the one on the front when it's closed. Motorola calls it the most intelligent external display.
Yes. That 4-inch external screen is, well, it's a massive part of this phone's whole identity. It's also an LTPO AMOLED, some sources say POLED, same idea, and it really packs a punch for a cover display.
4 inches is definitely bigger than what we've seen on a lot of other flips. What's the tech like on this smaller one? Resolution?
It's got a 1272 by 1080 resolution, which is incredibly sharp at that size, 417 ppi. And just like the main screen, it supports a billion colors, Dolby Vision, HDR10 plus ceramic.
Okay.
And get this, it also has a refresh rate up to 165 hertz. And it's protected by that Gorilla Glass ceramic.
Wait, hang on. The external screen matches the internal one at 165 hertz. That seems almost like overkill just for checking notifications.
Doesn't it? But that's the fascinating part.
What does that tell you?
It tells me Motorola expects you to use this external screen for a lot more than just glancing at info. With that size, that resolution, that refresh rate, you could potentially run full apps, watch videos, maybe even play some games without ever flipping the phone open. Their tagline, see more, do more before you even flip open, really hammers that home. It's designed to be properly functional. It even supports Face Unlock right from that outer screen.
That really does change the whole dynamic of using a flip phone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not just opening it every single time you need to do something.
Exactly. You can manage a lot from the outside. It tackles that core limitation older flips had, where the cover screen was, frankly, pretty limited.
Right. Okay, let's shift gears to performance. What's actually powering this thing?
Under the hood, it's running Android 15, and it's got Qualcomm's SM8750AB Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. This is built on the latest 3-nanometer process tech.
And the benefit of 3 nanometers,
I'll see.
better power efficiency mostly. And speed.
Yeah, both. Generally, smaller process nodes mean more transistors packed in, which leads to higher performance and better power efficiency compared to older chips.
Makes sense. What's the CPU configuration?
It's an octa-core setup designed for a mix of, high performance and efficiency cores. Peak clock speeds hit up to 4.32 gigahertz. It also includes the Adreno 830 GPU for graphics and a dedicated Qualcomm Hexagon NPU.
NPU, neural processing unit. That's for AI stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
What role does that play?
Exactly. The NPU is specifically designed to speed up AI and machine learning tasks right on the phone itself. So things like real-time photo enhancements, voice processing for assistants, all those AI background tasks run much faster and more efficiently without needing the cloud as much.
Gotcha. And how much RAM and storage are they pairing with this chip? It sounds powerful.
Yeah, it is. The configurations mentioned are 512 GB and a huge 1 TB option for internal storage, and both come with a hefty 16 GB of the latest LPDDR5X RAM.
16 gigs of fast RAM is serious. Did they make any claims about what that actually does for performance?
They did. Motorola claims it helps apps run about 10% faster and smoother while actually using 25% less power. And the storage is UFS 4.0, which is the fastest standard available right now. So apps should install and load incredibly quickly.
Any option for expandable storage?
Yeah.
Like a micro SD card slot?
No, the sources are clear on that. No card slot. You're stuck with the internal storage you pick at purchase.
Okay. And Motorola's making some pretty bold claims about the overall performance.
Oh, yeah. They call the Snapdragon 8 Elite platform industry-leading. They claim the Razr 60 Ultra is the most powerful flip phone, boasting about the superior combined CPU, GPU, and NPU performance.
And we saw some benchmark numbers in the sources that seem to back that up.
We did. Just for context, its Antutu V10 score was over 1.8 million, 18311, 189 specifically. Geekbench V6 hit 6796, and 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme was 5938.
So what does that mean in real terms?
It means this phone performs right up there with the absolute top-tier flagship phones from any brand, whether they fold or not. It shows they really haven't compromised on raw power despite the form factor challenge.
That's crucial. It's not just a style piece, it's a performance beast.
Okay.
Okay, let's switch to cameras. Motorola is highlighting something specific here.
They're really promoting it as the first triple 50 MP camera system on a flip phone.
Triple 50 MP, that's a lot of megapixels. How does that break down? What are the actual cameras?
Right, so you've got a 50 megapixel main camera, that's your primary rear sensor. It has a fast f1.8 aperture optical image stabilization, OIS.
Which helps with shaky hands, right?
Yeah.
Sharper photos, smoother video.
Exactly. And it uses multi-directional PDAF, which stands for phase detection autofocus. Basically helps it focus fast and accurately, even on moving subjects.
Okay.
This main sensor uses what they call instant all-pixel focus and also supports Pantone-validated color and skin tones, suggesting they're aiming for really accurate colors. And while it's a 50 MP sensor, it often uses quad-pixel tech. It combines 4 smaller pixels into one larger one, which is better for low light, producing a final image around 12.6 megapixels.
Okay, so that's one 50MP camera on the back. Where do the other two come in?
The second rear camera is also 50 MP. This one pulls double duty. It's an ultra-wide lens with a 122-degree field of view, great for landscapes or big group shots.
Right.
But it also functions as a macro camera, letting you get really close up for detailed shots.
Okay.
And it uses that quad-pixel binning, too.
Okay, two 50s on the back. So the third 50MP must be the selfie camera then.
You got it. They put a 50 MP sensor on the front as the main selfie camera. It's got an f2.0 aperture and HDR support. And like the others, it uses quad-pixel tech, binning down to about 12.5 MP photos usually.
A 50MP selfie camera is definitely something. Gives you a lot of detail to work with, or crop maybe. How about video capabilities?
Pretty comprehensive. The main camera can shoot up to 8K at 30 frames per second.
Wow, 8K.
Yeah. Or 4K at 30, 60, or even 120 FPV for slow motion effects, plus 1080p at various rates up to 240 gigas, and video from that main camera gets Dolby Vision, HDR support, and gyro EIS electronic stabilization using motion sensors. Selfie cam does 4K at 30 or 60 FPV and 1080p at 30 or 60, so solid video specs all around.
And the software side, sounds like AI is playing a big role there too.
Yes, definitely. The sources list a ton of shooting modes: action shot, long exposure, macro, pro mode, plus AI-enhanced features like group shot, which uses AI to kind of blend the best faces from multiple takes.
Clever.
The signature style for personalized looks, auto night vision. There's a specific photo enhancement engine powered by Moto A, suggesting that MPU is working hard behind the scenes to improve image quality.
And I saw mention of deep integration with Google Photos for editing.
Absolutely. You get access to those powerful Google Photos features like Magic Editor for moving objects or changing backgrounds, Magic Eraser to zap distractions, Camouflage to blend things in, and Photo Unblur to sharpen slightly soft shots.
So it's a combination of Motorola's own AI processing and Google's cloud-based editing tools. What are the big claims about overall camera performance?
They claim you can effortlessly capture the perfect snap. They highlight things like 4x more light sensitivity and 25% larger pixels. That's from the quad pixel binning for better low light shots. And they emphasize video enhancements and Dolby Vision.
Plus, the form factor itself offers an advantage.
Huge advantage. You can use those high-quality main cameras for selfies or vlogging, using the large external screen as your viewfinder. That's something unique to flips.
Great point. Okay, battery life. Always a concern with powerful phones, especially foldables driving multiple high-refresh screens. What's the battery situation?
It's got a 4700 mAh non-removable battery, which is pretty sizable for a flip phone, actually.
And charging speeds.
Supports fast 68W turbo power wired charging. Now, importantly, the sources say the charger is sold separately.
Ah, right. Becoming common, but good to know. Any claims on how fast that 68W is?
Yeah, Motorola claims it can give you power for the day in 8 minutes and charge the phone fully in about 40 minutes.
That is seriously fast. What about wireless charging?
It supports 30W wireless charging. Again, charger sold separately. They claim this is 2x faster wireless charging, probably compared to older Razr models.
And it can share power too, like charge earbuds.
Yep, it has 5W reverse wireless charging, so you can place compatible earbuds or maybe another phone on the back to give them a little juice.
Andy, any overall battery life claims from Motorola? How long does it last?
The main claim is go more than a full day and a half on a single charge. And one source we looked at had a battery active use score of 15 hours and 10 minutes.
15 hours active use. That sounds pretty solid, actually. Lines up with their claim for typical use.
Yeah, quite respectable for a device with this much going on.
Okay, sounds promising on the power front. Let's talk audio and connectivity. What's the sound setup?
For audio, it's got dual stereo speakers. And it supports Dolby Atmos and spatial sound, which should make movies and music sound pretty immersive.
Nice.
It also supports Snapdragon sound technology and claims 20% stronger bass and vibration from the speakers compared to previous models.
Good to hear about stereo speakers and the audio tech. Is there a headphone jack? A traditional 3.5mm one?
No, like most flagships now, no 3.5mm jack. You'll have to use USB-C headphones or, more likely, Bluetooth. It does have 3 microphones, though, for call clarity and recording.
Okay. And connectivity, all the latest standards.
Seems like it. Supports the newest Wi-Fi 7 standard, plus Wi-Fi 6E6, etc. And Bluetooth 5.4, which includes support for high-quality audio codecs like aptX HD, adaptive, and even aptX lossless.
Positioning services, GPS and the like.
Yep, standard stuff. GPS, Galileo, GLONASS, BDS, QZSS. all covered.
NFC for payments.
Yes, NFC is included.
And the USB port.
It's USB Type-C, and it supports OTG on the go, meaning you can plug in things like external drives or keyboards if you need to.
And network support, 5G.
Yeah, full support across GSM, CDMA, HSPA, EVDO, LTE, and of course 5G. Covers a wide range of bands, including sub-6 GHz 5G. Pretty much global compatibility.
They also mentioned something called Smart Connect. What's that about?
Smart Connect sounds like Motorola's ecosystem play. It's likely their system for making it easy to share content or extend your phone's experience onto other screens, like casting video to a TV, or maybe interacting with notes and files on a connected PC.
Ah, like a continuity feature. Okay, let's wrap up with a few other bits and pieces. What sensors does it have?
You've got the usual suspects: accelerometer, gyro, proximity, compass, barometer, plus an approach IR sensor, ambient light sensor, and a Hall sensor. That last one probably helps detect if the phone is open or closed.
And the fingerprint reader is on the side.
Correct, side-mounted fingerprint reader. And you also have face unlock, likely using the internal or external camera.
Security covered. And those Moto A features seem like a really big push this year, beyond just the camera stuff.
They really are. Motorola is integrating Moto A to do things like understand what's on your screen and offer context-aware suggestions in real time. Features like Playlist Studio, which apparently creates soundtracks, and that Smart Connect feature are tied into this broader AI push.
Interesting.
It also supports Google Gemini for voice control, and there's even a dedicated AI key mention, though the sources weren't totally clear on its exact function beyond maybe just quick access to AI features.
And the popular Circle to Search feature from Google.
Yeah, that's available too, through the Google integration.
Okay. What exactly comes in the box when you buy this? It's a premium device.
According to the sources, you get the phone itself, naturally, a USB Type-C cable, the usual guides, a SIM tool, and actually a protective case, which is a nice touch.
Yeah, always good to get a case.
And get this, a signature packaging fragrance.
A fragrance.
Yeah.
In the phone box. That is certainly memorable. A unique unboxing for sure.
Definitely different.
And finally, the release date and price. Where does this sit?
It's listed as available now, released back on April 25th, 2025. Price-wise, for the 512 GB storage with 16 GB RAM model, one source put it at $99,999 in India or $1,199 in Europe.
Okay.
Although, interestingly, the official Motorola site actually listed the European price slightly higher at $1,299.99.
Bit of a discrepancy.
Yeah, could be regional taxes or launch pricing. But either way, you're looking at the 1,200 to 1,300 range in Europe and just under that 1 lakh rupee mark in India. It definitely puts it firmly in the high-end premium flagship category.
No question. A premium price for what sounds like a very premium feature-packed device.
Absolutely.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean? We've done a really deep dive into this Motorola Razr 60 Ultra, pulling out all the key specs, the claims, the features, directly from the sources you looked at.
Yeah, quite a list.
From that reimagined, durable folding design, and those two, frankly, impressive high refresh rate displays, especially that very capable external one, to the absolute beast of a chip inside, the Snapdragon 8 Elite. That benchmarks like any top-tier phone.
Right up there.
The unique 5050 MP camera system, boosted by AI and Google Smarts, and that fast-charging battery. There's just a ton of tech packed into this iconic form factor.
They really didn't hold back.
And that intentional focus on making the external display so functional, combined with all the integrated AI, it really does feel designed to maybe change how you fundamentally use a flip phone, allowing you to do so much more without even opening it.
That seems to be the core idea.
So this deep dive gives you, the listener, a really solid understanding of what the Razr 60 Ultra brings to the table. It's this blend of undeniable retro cool with genuinely bleeding-edge mobile tech and intelligence. Which brings us to the really interesting question to leave you with. Given how much capability they've crammed into that external display and the growing role of on-device AI, does a phone like this suggest a future where maybe our phones spend more time folded shut than open? Could it actually shift our daily interaction patterns entirely away from constantly opening up that big screen?